In this session, we want to discuss security templates. Security templates are simply security settings that you have configured. The settings then can be applied to one computer, or the settings can be applied to multiple computers using group policy. The settings that can be configured for security templates are account policies, local policies, event log, restricted groups, system services, registry, and file system. You have 4 options at your disposal for deploying security templates. The first one, importing security templates into the group policy object, and that is the one that most administrators would want to use because that is how you configure security templates on different sets or different types of computers. You can also use the security configuration and analysis tool, but that will only allow you to place the security settings on one computer. You can also use the secedit.exe command line tool. You can also use the security configuration wizard, which you can access by clicking on Tools and clicking on Security Configuration Wizard. This wizard within the MMC allows you to configure one computer or a number of computers. We first want to take a look at how we will customize a security template for deployment to other computers. Let us take a look at the scenario here. We have 2 departments, the payroll department and the personnel department. What we want to do is we want to apply a security template to computers in the payroll department. Then we want to apply a different set of security definitions, which would be a security template, to the personnel department. So what we have to do then is to customize the template for the payroll department and apply it to the payroll organizational unit, where we would have placed those computers' accounts from payroll. And then we would customize another template, and this template then would be linked to the personnel department OU, where we would have placed the computer accounts from the personnel departments. Let's take a look first to see how we will go about configuring the security template. From Server Manager, I am going to click on the Start button, and I'm going to type MMC. I'm going to open up MMC by double-clicking on it. And we can see my MMC console. I'm going to click on File, Add Remove Snap-in. And what I'm looking for is the Security Templates MMC. So we're going to scroll down, looking for that security template. And here it is, security templates. And I'm going to add the security templates. While I'm here, I'm also going to add security and configuration analysis, because we're also going to use that for configuring the templates. If you want to configure the template on an individual computer, so I'm going to click Add. So I have both the security templates MMC and the security configuration and analysis MMC, and I'm going to say OK. Now what we want to concentrate on is configuring a security template and customizing that security template. So I am going to expand security templates, and here I have the default security template in C Users Administrator Document Security Templates. What I want to do is to right click on that default template and click New Template. I'm going to give the template a name, and I'm going to call this template Personnel Security Template. Then I'm going to say OK. I want to expand here, and I want to open that personnel security template. So I'm going to expand on personnel security template. And here you can see all the settings that we're able to change for this personnel security template. So what we need to do then is to open any one of these settings and customize them the way we want. Let's just try an example. Let's say we open up local policies and we want security options. For this setting here, what we might want to do is choose one of the settings that we would want the personnel computers to have. We might want to use this one. Restrict CD access to locally logged on user only. So we would double click on that policy. We would define the policy and we would enable it. We can go ahead and say apply and OK. In that same way, we could go to any one of these settings and change the settings to what we want them to be for the computers in the personnel OU. Once we have changed all the settings that we want, then what we need then to do is to apply that template. Our first example is going to be applying the template that we just created to the personnel OU within Group Policy Objects. So we're going to go into Tools, Group Policy Management. We're going to expand the domain. And here we have the personnel computers. We have a template, or we have rather a group policy object called personnel. And you would have had to create this group policy object so that we could now go and edit that group policy object. So you right click and you edit. You want to go to Computer Configuration, Policies, Windows Settings, and then on Security Settings, you want to right click and say Import Policy. The policy that you want to import would be the policy that you had created or configured or customized, and it would be in the templates folder. So you will simply click on the personnel security template that you created, And here you see you can clear the database before importing. So if you have another policy in your database, you can clear it first. Then you click on open. And now any computer within that personnel OU will get these security settings from that template that you imported. So remember, we first had to go and customize the template. Once we customized the template the way we wanted it, we went into security settings, we right-click and we said import. And we were then able to import that security setting that we had configured. By the same token, we could do another policy on another OU where there are a different set of computers and we can apply a different type of security setting to that OU. And in that way, using the group policy object, we are able then to configure security settings for multiple computers. Now let's take a look at the security configuration and analysis that we had within the MMC. Remember we said that we're going to use that one for configuring just one computer. We're going to right-click on Security Configuration and Analysis, and we're going to say Open Database, and we're going to type the name of a database. Let's call it Data, and this is where the security templates will be stored. So click on Open, and then we are prompted to get that security template that we had created. So you click on the security template, and if there was another database there from before, you could always clear this database before importing. So we're importing that security template that we created into the database, and we click on Open. And now what we want to do is to place those settings within the database on the computer itself. To do that, you would right-click on Security Configuration and Analysis Database, and you would click Configure Computer Now. Once you click Configure Computer Now, that template that we imported and placed in the database will actually be placed on the computer system, on the local computer system, and then that system will then have the security settings. This security configuration and analysis wizard is only for the configuration of one computer. So if you wanted to put security templates on multiple computers, you'd have to do the one that we did before with the group policy. We don't want to configure the computer now, so we're going to go ahead and close the console. We want to take a look at security and configuration analysis from the Tools menu. So we're going to click on Tools, and we're going to scroll down to Security Configuration Wizard. And remember that this wizard will help you to place templates on multiple computers. With this wizard, you will create the security policy that you can apply to any server on the network. And this policy configures services and network security based on the server role. So this is a little different from the one we did before. Let's just go through some of the screens for the security configuration wizard. We click next. And you see here, you can select the action that you want to perform. You could create a new policy. You could edit an existing one. You can apply an existing security policy. And you could roll back the last applied security policy. So let's say we were creating a new security policy. You would click on next. And you would choose the server that you want to use as a baseline for this policy. Click next. And you can actually view the configuration database by clicking on View Configuration Database, because this configuration database has information about the roles and features on the server. You click next. And here you have the role-based service configuration. And you will use this section to configure services based on the server's role. Next, here, you have server roles, and the server roles are used to enable services and open ports. You click next. So you can see that this security configuration wizard is more advanced than lots of the others, and this is used to configure security on your server. So we looked at the security and configuration analysis tool in the MMC, which was for the one computer. We looked at the group policy. And remember, there's another option right here on the tools that you can configure multiple servers. You could configure the security for multiple servers. And you can also use a command line for the configuration of security templates to be placed on computers. We're going to actually close this wizard. You just need to remember the different tools that you can use for the security templates. You can always modify or customize a security template, and then you can import that template through Group Policy by right-clicking on Security Settings, or you can use other methods. The one most administrators would use, as I said before, is the Group Policy, where you import that security template that you had created or modified, and you link that security template to an OU that has the computer systems that you want the policy to affect. This is the end of the session. Thank you for listening.